some people like their problems. Some people find comfort in the certainty of things not working. Um, or working in a way that is just predictable. It's like, here you got person number one over here, or like this example person, they want to do something crazy. They want to be an artist, they want to be an actor, they want to write scripts, they want to build houses, whatever. They want to do something great. Um, but they know that the bus comes every day at 8. They know that this job down here downtown opens every day at 9. They know they're gonna get this paycheck. They know they're gonna, you know, uh, this toxic person. They know that they're not good for them, but at least they buy them stuff or whatever. Like whatever the situation is, they know what things are gonna happen, even if it's not ideal things.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's the word, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a very special guest in the building coming back from LA. Man, since the last time we talked, you moved out there. You recently released your song, Pray For Me. So y'all remember this shit. I got it off the top of my head. And you started a movie. I don't remember the title of the movie. I don't want to fuck it up. What was it about? I don't watch horror movies, bro.
So it was about a guy who was broke, kind of going through shit. And I play his best friend. I'm letting him crash on my floor. And I set him up with this construction gig so we could get some money. And it's a gig at like a mansion. So the guy sneaks into the house and accidentally bumps into the owner of the mansion, who he finds out is dying. And the owner basically says, look, I'll give you everything. I'm dying. I'm giving you everything. I don't have a son. Take it all. But I just want you to do this one thing. And the one thing is like this crazy ritual. And so that's pretty much the setup. And it just goes to shit from there.
So you're in the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm his best friend.
How was that?
It was dope. I mean, I'm huge on movies. I love movies. I want to write more. And so having like that experience and actually it being available is it's a blessing for real. And it was super fun on set. You'd be surprised, like even with horror movies and real, like you're talking about real shit, it's still fun. Like you're just kind of making art, you know what I mean? Just like in the studio or something.
And that wasn't even your first experience on set. That was your first experience with a movie, but prior to that, you did Law and Order, didn't you?
Yeah, Chicago PD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. You know, I saw it off Rodeo Story, the fact that you had done the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it was a horror movie. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I can't do it.
You should watch it, bro. I wouldn't say it's super scary, but it is very, like, there's some jump scares. It's more interesting than scary to me. Like, it's more suspense. Like,
what was it that attracted you to that specific project?
The character that I played is kind of everything that I've wanted to do. And I want to do more characters like that. He's kind of an asshole. He's, not the best type of guy. But at the end of the day, if you're into some shit, he's the type that you want to have like behind you, backing you up, And I think like those characters are ones that I'm always attracted to. I always think they're the most interesting. Like the flawed characters, the ones that are like, they're assholes, they're fucking pieces of shit, but also they're real and they got your back. So that was one. And then two, the plot, the writing, when I read the script for the first time, it was just one of those things where I'm like, damn, they're doing shit like this in Chicago? Like they produced the whole thing out of Chicago. Yeah, it wasn't even like an LA production or anything. So I was like, damn, they're doing shit like this? I thought it was only like Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. And so yeah, just to be a part of something that I felt like was new was exciting.
So what is it about those characters that attracts you? Do you feel like I don't want to say you're an asshole, but do you feel like you see part of yourself inside of those characters?
I would say in some situations when you feel like you have to stand up for yourself and defend what you believe to be right, sometimes you will come off as an asshole or you'll come off arrogant. And so maybe I have like moments like that, especially if I'm like defending like my music in a setting where there's collaborators or something. I don't think I'm generally an asshole, but I just think that playing that and kind of diving into a character like that, you find different parts of yourself that, you didn't know were there. And I think that's also what attracts me to acting in general is like how many humans can I like portray? How can I don't know, tell stories in a different way. That's also why I like making music. You know what I mean? I'm telling stories. I'm trying to get people to connect and find themselves in it. And I think in a lot of ways, acting and film, you can accomplish the same thing.
I think that it's super dope that you've been able to tap into both, for one, right?
Thank you.
Now, moving away from the acting because really we know you for the music.
Mhm.
One thing I want to say first is I was going through all the TikToks. I was going through like back. It's so crazy how much your look has changed.
Yeah.
One of my I run an after school program, and the kid he asked me, he's like, "You're interviewing SoloCelo?" And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I forgot he looked like that. But he's like, I'm a fan. He's like, can I meet him? I'm like, no, you can't meet him. Like, no.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But
Damn. Solo for the kids.
going to the music, you recently released the song Pray For Me. What was it about this song that reflected what was going on in your life?
I was doing the content, dropping music, I'm doing auditions, I'm working, I'm trying to, make it happen. I'm in a new city. I mean, I've been to LA before, but I never lived in LA. So I'm like learning on the go. And you just encounter shit that you haven't encountered before. Certain responsibilities, certain things pop up. You just gotta handle them, life shit. And some life be life, and sometimes it be kicking the shit out you. But it's how you like overcome those things that really, shows you who you are and helps you grow, as an adult. So um I crashed my car at the beginning of this year.
The SRT?
I crashed the Chevy, and bro, it flipped. It was crazy. Like I was in Hollywood, and bro, my shit flipped over like some movie shit. I had to climb out. It was crazy. I got like blood on my hands. I got a black eye. I'm like looking crazy, bro. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, damn, like, and I hadn't dropped in a long time. And as an artist, I don't know if you feel the same, but if you ever take a break or a hiatus, you start to get that itch. You're like, man, I got to get back to it. And so I was feeling that itch. And then I had to like fire a manager because he was like on some weird shit. I'm still with Sean, who you know, but I had to part ways with a team member and just a lot of drama, bro. Like just shit that popped up, handle it, but it just never seems to kind of fully go away. And once I had like a handle on it, I felt like I had shit kind of under control. That's when I flipped the car. And I was like, fuck. Mind you, the Pray For Me, going back to the song, I had that hook already done for a long time. Like, and I don't like rushing songs. Like if I don't feel instantly inspired to finish it, I'm not gonna do it because I just feel like I'm forcing it. So I had the hook done for a long ass time, and I'm like, man, I just need something to talk about. I'm gonna just wait. Now I had a bunch of shit to talk about after flipping that shit, and I finished that song in like a day after that, and just I think it goes back to, I don't even remember what the original question was, but I say all that to say, like, I think for me personally, I don't like just making songs because I feel like making a song. If I have something to say and I have like a itch I have to scratch, that's when I make it. And that's kind of like what Pray For Me was. It was like the ultimate like stamp, like, all right, not only am I back releasing, but I have some shit to talk about.
And that's something that we talked about previously in the other interview. The fact that your music had become a way for you to express what was going on in life. When you did, what the fuck was the first one?
Oh, Life Is Drained.
When you did Life Is Drained, a lot of it was literally replicating what you hear on the radio.
Yeah, it was just stuff, yeah.
And then you get a job, and that's where you're reflecting on all the heartbreak. You're reflecting on people literally telling you, go get a job. because now your only job is to make music. But in the song Pray For Me, you say, please pray for me. Pray I keep my head above the water. Don't play with me. I don't think my circle could get any smaller. What was it about the relationships that you were keeping around that was taking a toll on you?
I wouldn't say taking a toll. Because I've always done a pretty good job of clocking shit when it's starting to get to that point. But really, I think the older you get, the more you realize like people are just who they are. And if they wanted to do certain things, or if they had a reason to do those things, their own reasons, then they would do it. And I think when shit gets real, like it's easy to say like, oh, I'm real, don't this is my dog, he'll never da 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 da. But when shit get real and that test really comes, sometimes they don't prove who they are. You know what I'm saying? They do prove who they are, and it's not who you thought. And I just think like, again, as an adult, we're all here for the first time, so you're just doing your best. It's important to just try not to hold any resentment. Just let people be who they are. Like, you know what I mean? 2 + 2 is not 5. And just let them be. You know what I'm saying? Just let them be 5.
But even the concept of people switching up and people not being who they said they were has followed you throughout the music and reminded and lost control. This concept of losing people to certain lifestyles. Why do you feel like this event has been so recurrent throughout your journey?
Well, that's a good question. And before I answer it, I do want to say it's like I understand the concept of switching up, but I almost like rebuke it. Like I almost don't even accept it. I don't think that people really switch. I just think that they get in a situation where their true self, who they are, is revealed. And I feel like that's when you view it like that, you can take more responsibility for your life and you don't feel as much of a victim. Like if everybody's switching up in your life, it's like you probably just don't know how to spot like a real friend. You know what I mean? You probably have a bad taste in friends, and that's your fault. It's not everybody's fault for switching up. You know what I mean? But to answer your question now, I don't know, bro. I feel like, you're young and we're we have a better judgment now as we get older, and you'll continue to have wiser judgment. When you meet somebody in kindergarten, that's just your homie because y'all both like books. You know what I mean? And y'all both go to the same school, and you're both there because both of y'all parents decided to take you to that school. That's why y'all homies. And then you grow up together and you relate to each other and y'all learn from each other and y'all have experiences together. And then eventually it's up to you to make your own decisions. And I think that those decisions, again, reveal who they really are. And sometimes they continue to align and sometimes they don't. And I just think it's important to not hold any resentment because that will really turn you into a villain. Like, you can't do that.
I love that you mentioned the fact that there's these people that you grew up with. They're basically default friends. That's basically how it is.
It basically is, but like you don't say it like that because it's the guys. You know what I mean? It's the guys. I'm never gonna actively be like, all right, we were just friends because we both were on a basketball team. That's that's my homie. That's my dog. Now, if we're 10 years later and now you're acting weird, that's unfortunate.
Now I say that because I've talked about this recently about my homies that I grew up with. And I've said it throughout the years. Like, they're the homies. I fuck with them. Like, I got love for them. But when I thought about, okay, who's going to be at my wedding type shit, right? Who's going to be my best man? Who's going to be my groomsman, right? I had always thought it would be certain people that I grew up with, right?
Uh-huh.
But as time goes on, those relationships become distant. And it's just because, like, the people you grow up with, you're friends because of those experiences that you had. But when you get older and you make different friends, like you become friends because you have certain things in common. You have certain values that are the same.
Even when you're younger, you're friends with those people because you have the similar values. But you're also a kid, so like those things change, bro. Like, and the people don't change, but your interests change. You grow up, you decide you don't want to keep doing this, but you want to look into this. Like, and that's just life, bro.
It was in Reminded what that something about blind. What's the line about blind?
I know people that's lost their way. I know people that's lost their mind. I know people that's wrestling demons. I know people that's lost that fight. I know someone that done went blind. He can still see, but he lost sight. I wish niggas would take advice. He said. He said.
There's a lot in there to unpack, right?
The blind line is just, I know someone that went blind. He could still see, but he lost the vision. He lost the what I thought was the plan. And that happens, bro. That happens. You assume that everyone's on the same page, and maybe you are, but at some point, some people just can't keep up.
But what was it that made you reflect on all of this? Because you're going down this list of different types of people that you do know.
I try my best to not be judgmental. I think everybody has their own like problems, issues, things that they're overcoming internally and like their circumstances. And when you care about people, you try your best to help. I mean, that's what I try to do. You know what I mean? I maybe a little bit too much. Like I'm offering myself a little too much. Like, yo, bro, like if you need help, let me know. Like I got you. Like I'll call this favors, da da da. Like don't even worry about it because I care. I want you to be successful. If you're in this unfortunate situation, I'll do what I can with the resources that I have to get you out of that situation. And it just it breaks my heart when you do all that and then they still continue to make the same mistakes that just make everything worse. It's like, bro, like the first issue wasn't even that bad. We got through that. Now you doing this. It's like, I don't even know what to do about that. Like, I can't even help you anymore, bro.
I don't even know how to fix this
I
one.
don't even know. Like that first one, I was like, almost did. Now this one, definitely not. Like, and that's what really breaks my heart because I think some people genuinely have things that they are genuinely fighting, and other people, I think they just. I mean, some people like their problems.
What you mean by that?
I mean, that's like some deep, like psychological shit. But like, some people like their problems. Some people find comfort in the certainty of things not working. Um, or working in a way that is just predictable. It's like, here you got person number one over here, or like this example person, they want to do something crazy. They want to be an artist, they want to be an actor, they want to write scripts, they want to build houses, whatever. They want to do something great. But they know that the bus comes every day at 8. They know that this job down here downtown opens every day at 9. They know they're gonna get this paycheck. They know they're gonna, you know, uh, this toxic person. They know that they're not good for them, but at least they buy them stuff or whatever. Like whatever the situation is, they know what things are gonna happen, even if it's not ideal things. And I think people are fine with like mediocre because it's predictable and that's safe. And that's fine, that's cool. But then when they say, "No, no, I want to do this, I want to do it." I'm like, "Well, bro, why are you still?"
Because it's comfortable. Because like you said, you know exactly what it's going to be.
To do something great, you got to jump into the darkness a little bit. And that is scary. You know what I mean? That is scary. Like, there are songs that I love that every person that I show, not every person, but like somebody might be like, "Oh, like, that's cool, but I love it." I'm still going to drop it. And maybe the whole world is like, "This is okay." But I love it, and there's a certain fear of that. You know what I mean? There's a fear of moving to Los Angeles to pursue something. There's a fear of moving to New York to pursue something. I've never been to this city or something. And if you really want to do some shit, you have to jump. You have to jump. You know what I mean? Like, I heard this quote and it was like, how can I be? It was like I forget in what context, but it was like a younger person talking to an older person, and the younger person goes like, "How can I be brave when I feel so much fear?" And the older person is like, "That's the only time when you can be brave."
I feel you on that though. And you know what? I got to give you your flowers on the fact that you did it, right? You took that jump that most people are afraid to take. For me, I've definitely gone the route where it's safe,
You think so though? You're because you're building something that people will talk about. You know what I mean? You're creating.
but you can only do the same thing for so long. It's not to say that I would ever stop this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the fact that I'm 200 episodes in and it's continued to grow, but am I doing anything more to push it even further, right? You can't continue to do the same thing every single day and expect something new to happen. And I found a job that is decent. I got no complaints, but I've been doing that job for 3.5 years. Nothing's going to change. Nothing in my life is going to change unless I continue to strive for something bigger. And I talked to Chris Classic about this. I talked to Logan about this. I've become comfortable with what my life looks like, and I was never like that. When I started this, I started it because I was like, man, I want this shit to be the biggest thing in the world. I want the fame, I want the money, I want everything. And at some point it just became this is something that I do every single week. I don't know what the bigger picture looks like anymore, but I'm going to continue to do it. So I'm aimlessly doing the same thing every single day.
I see what you're saying. And it sucks when you find that pocket in something that you originally were super passionate about and did it just out of the love. When I first moved to LA, I thought I had like the whole roadmap in my head, right? And this was like 2 years ago. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep rocking out with the TikToks. I'm gonna keep dropping this shit. I'm gonna just keep posting a snippet, and then whichever one does well, I'm gonna drop it. And I thought I had it all figured out, and it's a rat race. You know what I mean? It's a rat race, and I started getting tired, and I started wondering why I wasn't getting any help, and I started kind of getting a little bitter. And then every opportunity that came, whether it was a publishing thing or a label thing or a session thing, everything felt like the holy grail, and then it wasn't, or it was dope, like it was a cool thing, but it wasn't $1 million in my pocket, life changed, put my mom in a mansion type shit. You know what I mean? So like, then you start to get discouraged and whatever. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, damn, like I'm not having any fucking fun anymore. I'm just working. I feel the same as probably somebody who wishes they could swap with me, but they're in a cubicle. Now I'm waking up at 9 a.m. and I'm doing the same shit. And I go to the gym and I come back and I'm working. And I go to sleep at like 10 and rinse and repeat. Why am I not having any fun? And there's a lot of reasons it turned into that for a little bit. Like I'm not gonna say I was completely miserable, but because there was moments, you have a good session, you have fun, or you do a show and you have a good time, but it's like this, like dramatically. And I'm like, why? How did I get like this? And what I kind of realized, it wasn't like an aha moment. It was like kind of weeks of making the same mistake, months of making the same mistake, like thinking this was going to save my life and all this stuff. When in reality, every new song that I made, that's the win. You know? That's the win. That is the aha. That is the whole point. Keep creating, and then once I put it out, that's like another win. It's like that's the whole point. The deals, good or bad, the people you meet, good or bad, the artists, the producers, the executive, whatever who's tapping in every show, all of that is like really cool. But I didn't start making music because I wanted to sign to so and so, you know? And sometimes I still fall into that because I'm an artist, and it's volatile. Your emotions are volatile sometimes. Um, but I think if you can just focus on creating, that's what I was doing when I was 16 in the basement recording. That was what I was doing when I was, you know, leaving class at Columbia College, working at the studio recording, and then everybody left, and now I'm up at 3 a.m. making my own shit. I wasn't getting paid for that. I wasn't signing a deal off that. I was just making it because I wanted to,
Doing it for the love.
for the love. And so getting back to that, and having two minds of it, like having one mind like handle your shit, get your money, pay your bills, survive, eat, but make sure you preserve this side. Make sure you preserve the I want to create because I want to and I love it and this is exciting to me. Because once that fully dies, bro, you're done.
That goes back to the conversation I was having with Classic literally like a week ago. He told me, he's like, what do you want to do? How far do you see this going? And like I said, when people ask me that, I don't know what to say because I've just been doing this shit aimlessly for a while now. And he's like, I feel like you created a job for yourself. And it's not to say that there's no love for it, right? Because like you said, there's that love. It's just, you know what you have to get done and you continue to do it. Because what happens when you stop? People forget.
Let me rebuttal that though. You also cannot be afraid to disappear. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid to disappear because if you're afraid of disappearing, then that means it's like most of the things that you were doing anyway were just for vanity, which I fell into that same thing too. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, if I don't post right now, I fell off. And it's like, I'm still alive. I didn't fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no falling off. It's just it's really just, what do you want to do? Is it the podcast? Is it making music? Is it making movies? Is it, building tables? Is it fucking washing dishes? Is it cooking? Whatever you want to do, find that one thing and then just dig in. You know what I mean? Figure out how to do that one thing and continue to do that one thing. Because being an artist, I know running a podcast, you got to wear a bunch of hats and you got to do 1,000 things. Being an artist, you got to do 1,000 things. But how can I spend most of my time creating? And that's the problem that I'm trying to solve.
Is that why you took a step away from the TikToks?
Absolutely, bro.
Do you feel like you needed to take that step back so people would stop relating you to it?
I mean, people are going to relate to whatever they relate to. You know what I mean? People are going to make comparisons and associate you with whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Drake.
Bro, like, and that shit is out of my hands. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it was just I was spending so much time trying to make shit work on TikTok. And that's my own, like, it doesn't have to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be frantic and fucking anxiousness all the time. It just goes back to like what I said, just have fun and like do shit for the love. And so I stopped doing that. I stopped doing shit for the love. I was doing shit for the views. I was doing shit for an ad so I can get some money. I was doing this, and it just wasn't fun. And so no wonder I couldn't, I wasn't motivated to do that. And so taking a step back, I really just refound my love for it. Like I did I love making TikToks. It was fun. Like, link up with your homies, do some goofy shit, put the song in the background, bam. And it was just fun. Then it just turned into this, like, I'm trying to make shit go. I'm trying to make shit go. And it's like, that's not a way to run anything, bro. Like you can't start a restaurant and be like, I'm gonna make the best fucking pizza in the world and fuck all y'all. Like, it's not that, you gotta love making pizza, you know? So it's the same thing. Like, you gotta love making music, bro. Like, this shit is not gonna love you back if you trying to go so hard and be neurotic about it. Like, just chill out, have fun.
What was the moment that made you realize that? Because I definitely see a difference between the Solo I first talked to versus now. And I could really see that even through social media, right? You were a hard dude to get a hold of that first time, bro.
Was I? It's not good.
I don't even think you followed me back until the interview dropped. But now there's an actual discussion being had.
Yeah.
There's a conversation we're having.
Yeah.
I think
I feel the same.
I
brother.
see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I mean, and I was younger too. I think you have an idea of like what you need to do, and it's also hard to keep up with everything. Also, like it. I think like
I'm not judging you, bro.
oh,
It's
thank
okay.
you. No, hey, judge me, bro. Like, if I was a dickhead, I was a dickhead. But I think like, when you're younger, you don't really know a lot, but you don't want to come off like you don't know a lot. So it's just like you just want to make sure that everything's done well, and it's hard to keep up with it. You know what I mean? Like it was just me and Sean, and we were just cranking, bro. And it went from one thing to 10 things to 100 things to 1,000 things, and it's dope. And you think you're a god, but you're not. And it's important to know that and know that you're a human being and just be real. And it goes back to the original conversation of like, people kind of losing the vision. It's like when you're overstimulated like that and you're not prepared for that and you don't have people that are gonna like that anticipate that or they've seen it before so they know how to like help you through it, it's easy to kind of lose the vision. And so I wouldn't say that I completely lost it, but I mean maybe I did. Now that I'm saying it, like I'm trying to keep up with this internet shit when it's like I didn't start making music because I wanted to be big on TikTok.
So what was that moment that showed you that? What did it take for you to finally realize like I might have gone off the
deep end or something? Man. I don't know the moment when I realized I just felt burnt out. I just felt burnt out every day. Like and every video that I made felt like I was like just trying. Just trying too hard. Like I'm trying to make this go. And it just wasn't healthy. And I realized that. I just clocked myself. Like after months, I'll probably say like I'll probably say late 2023, like in like December. That's when I was having the conversation with that one like team member, and I was just saying like, look, it's not working out, like because I just felt like I wasn't getting help, and I was paying, to keep people around, and I just didn't feel. I just felt like I was working for I was working too hard and not seeing and not just getting any help. I just wasn't getting any help. I wasn't seeing what I felt like was a return on the effort that I was putting in, and that was really frustrating, bro. Because I'm living off the shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, this isn't just a thing that I'm doing. This isn't just like a fun, goofy thing. Like I'm paying bills with the shit. So I'm not gonna play with my time. And I felt like that was a lesson that I learned. It's like you gotta be real about how things look and feel. Like how I texted you of like things that are on my mind. Like, bro, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. It is not a window or a fish.
What does that mean in this situation though?
In this situation, if you have people around you that are not contributing, and you're making up excuses in your head of like, oh, well, it's because of this, or it's because I'm not doing this, or it's because I'm not going hard enough or something. When you know that this person is supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z, when they're just not, and you know that in your heart, even if you don't know like how to articulate it, or you don't know why, or the actual like, I don't know, like if you don't know exactly what's going on or the reasoning behind it, but you know that just this doesn't feel right, there it is. It doesn't feel right. This isn't going how I need it to go.
It's not meant for you.
Exactly. So that was something that I had to kind of like figure out. So maybe that was the aha moment of like, okay, something's wrong. I gotta like take a step back, re-strategize.
What kind of mental impact did it have having to let go of relationships that you thought you wouldn't have had to ever?
Heavy, bro. Heavy. I would say there was like three that really just kind of threw me for a loop. The first being the team member, like, um, and then two others being like two homies. It's just like, uh, bro, this one time, bro. So like, it hurts, right? And you're just like, fuck, like this sucks. And so you just, you cut ties, cut communication, and you keep it pushing. And then this one time, bro, I was just like drunk as hell. I was at the crib with my shorty, and bro, I was just crying, bro. And I didn't, and I was like, why the fuck am I crying? And because we were talking about it, and I was like, why the fuck am I crying? And it's because you have an idea of what the world is. You have an idea of what you're going to come in contact with. You have an idea of the potential kind of losses and fears and uh what you might have to overcome. You get mentally prepared for that, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna save some money just in case I have a bad month. I'm gonna make sure that we're about to pop out. I'm gonna make sure I got full gas in my tank just in case we gotta drive somewhere far. Just shit. You take care of yourself. Make sure you're in a good spot. And then something happens that you'd completely never even imagine. Genuinely, not you thought of it and you're like, that never happened. Like genuinely, like never thought in hell that would happen. And you're just like, what the fuck is life? What is the world? Like it really fucks with your perception of what is left and right. Um and the two all three of those situations are very different, but at the end of the day, it was like betrayal in some way. It was like, bro, I was relying on you to do something and you just didn't do it. And then you actually did, you like went down that path. You didn't just choose this and kind of saw what it was about. You like went down and deep down in that path. And I'm like, what the fuck is you on, bro? Like, this is crazy. So anyway, yeah, I'm projecting now, but it just fucks with your worldview.
It's like somebody choosing somebody else over you. They knew what was going to happen. They knew if I do this, if I choose this, I am going to lose you. I am going to hurt you. And that's what they decide to do. So you look at it and you're like, damn, like, it's like that for real?
yeah. What's worse is like the playing dumb about it too. Even if you are dumb, that's even worse because I didn't know you were dumb. You know what I'm saying? But like, so you're gonna do this fucking treacherous shit, and then I explain to you in with an intro paragraph and 3 points and a rebuttal and a conclusion why this is fucked up. I give you a dissertation on why X, Y, and Z this is fucked up, and you still do it. And then I'm like, all right, bro, this is fucked up. I'm like, I can't rock with this. Like, probably not going to talk anymore. And then they're just like, all right, I don't know what I did, bro. Like, like, bro, I'm like, there's no, I, I can't, I can't fuck with that, bro. Because it's just like I said, it's like you're either playing dumb and you think I'm stupid, or you are actually dumb. Both ways, I can't fuck with you. Like, both ways.
Losing these relationships, did it ever make you question who you were and your integrity and feel like, damn, was it really my fault?
Absolutely, because, we're humans, we make mistakes. And again, this isn't like you saw down this path, you saw down this path, you chose this one and then it didn't work out and you like imagined both scenarios. This is like shit that you never thought you'd have to come in contact with. This is shit that you never expected. So you make mistakes, you're in uncharted territory. And I think that when you're alone and you're in those moments by yourself and you're thinking about these situations, you're like, damn, like was there evidence that they were capable of this? Yeah, probably. And I did not see it. Or did I see it and ignore it? And that's like my own internal dialogue of like, damn, did I notice these things and just ignore it? Did I see them do the same thing to somebody else and just thought, well, it's not me, you know what I mean? And so knowing that, I'm like, okay, like I just gotta, I gotta lock in, because that, there's no way I made that mistake. That's crazy. Like if like I said, if it's a duck, bro, if it quacks, and I'm like, that's a lion, I'm stupid, you know. So
Played
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, for real. That's literally the definition of playing yourself. So yeah, like just trying to do a better job of showing, uh allowing people to have access to me. And I don't mean like in a you know asshole way, but literally like just watch out who you tell your business to, watch out who you're like hanging around, because these people, some of these people will really just are really just not who you think they are. And it's not even their fault. It's just who they don't even know, bro. Like I feel like having that level of self-awareness is actually like very rare.
When looking back, do you feel like there were certain things you were missing from the relationship that caused it to fail?
Like in what way? Like
When you look back on certain things, when you look back on these relationships, you look at, well, I wasn't getting this. And it's not to say that like I needed it, but it's like you start to, those things add up.
I'm an only child. So like I kind of grew up like with really tight friendships because that was like my brother relationship. You know, that was where I got my brother vibe from. Um, but I also got used to making sure that like if all else fails, if shit hits the fan, like I'm good. I have to make sure that I'm good. So whenever I'm not getting something from somebody, I'm not like super hard pressed about it, because if I'm not getting it, it means I didn't get it for myself. You know, I don't know if other people have that or if that's an only child thing, but you know, maybe there's a connection there. That's why I brought it up. But um, I'm used to that. Like I said, like in the very beginning, like if one of my homies is going through some shit and I have the power to like at least point you in the right direction, I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna put you on with this person because I know that you need a studio. So and this person got a studio. So yo, put you in a group chat. Boom. That's like a super low level example. High level example was like, bro, you got into some shit. Like you need real like help, guidance, fucking just money, like whatever. If I got like, I'll help you, bro. Like just hit the line. I don't expect that from anybody because I try my best to make sure I'm good under all circumstances. And I also try also not to do that if I can't genuinely, or like I'll put myself in a situation that's not good. Um, but at least, at the very least, just have some integrity when you're dealing with me. Like I'm not like if you need some help doing something and I help you, I don't expect you to throw me a fucking parade. Say thank you, but like I'm not expecting you to like do the same for me, and you know what I mean, like under those circumstances, because I'm taking care of myself and I'm proud of that. It's very hard for me to ask for help. You know what I mean? I just feel like unless it's something that I literally have no power doing. Um, but just don't like lie to me, like straight to my face. You know what I mean? Like that's great. Like we grown, bro. Like
You got some trust issues, dog?
I'm not gonna say I have trust issues. Like I'm doing things and playing detective. I'm a firm believer in if that's what you want to do, like just go do it. I'm just not gonna be involved in that.
I'm in that situation right now.
Yeah, like if that's what you want to do, like I think a lot of the issues, like sometimes like I see these videos, like excuse me, of you know, like the dating pool and shit's so fucked up and everybody's cheating and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, like I think 90% of these issues would be solved if people were just real about what they want. But you got somebody that like want to be outside all the time, trying to get with somebody that like want to be inside all the time. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You know what I mean? And so they're pretending to want to go out, you're pretending you want to stay in, and now both of y'all pretending. What do you think is gonna happen? And none of y'all are happy. So then they go do something in secret, you do something, and now it's fucked. Like the whole thing is fucked. Whole time, if on date one, you were just like, yeah, I like going out all the time. then the person that likes to be in be like, oh, that's cool. I don't. So we should probably not like.
We probably shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be doing this, or just leave it be what it is. Like, let it be like a whatever, a friendship. Let it be just y'all are cool. But so there's a lot of that, and then there's also a lot of like wanting to be accepted by uh, a group or a person that just is not never showed any evidence of wanting to accept you, and then being mad about it.
What you mean?
Like the Tinder in real life videos or the balloon popping shit. It's funny. I didn't expect it to go on this long. It's been like 2 years of this type of content. So I see these clips and so will come out and they'll say, hey, I'm 26, da 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 da. And then like they'll say something that nobody fuck with and everybody will pop the balloons. And then they get press about it. I'm like, okay, they don't rock with you. It should be the end of it. Why are we still talking?
Why are you mad?
Why are you mad? They don't rock with you. There's 7 billion people on the planet. But I think that there is a little bit of an ego thing, and I think everybody has an ego. And again, it's important to just let people do what they want and do what they want to do. I don't know. Now's a very weird time for me. Like, there's a lot of things that are up in the air. There's a lot of things that like I feel like I'm in the dark right now. And it's exciting for in a lot of ways because I don't know what's going to happen. So usually when you're in the dark like that, that means something's going to happen. Something new, something fresh, something that's going to energize you and inspire you.
You know what I see a lot of? When you pray for something and you go through all these things that lead you to exactly where you need to be, like I literally seen a TikTok today. It said, I prayed for flowers and God gave me rain. And on my birthday, I can't even say what I wish for, but I feel like that wish is forcing me to choose certain things in my life. So I keep looking at that and I'm like, damn. I've had a lot of recent experiences where I'm like, God's trying to tell me something. God's showing me something right now. And I need to listen to that. Going back to the relationship part real quick. What kind of role does love play in your life now?
I think I'm still finding that, bro. I'm gonna be real. Like, I think we're in a weird time on the internet where people feel entitled to each other and we got egos and we were just talking about like the content and stuff that's just going out, and I think there's like the whole gender war thing of like what the other people are not doing and vice versa. And I think now more than ever you have to define that for yourself because people are making so much money off of just making you upset and keeping you confused and keeping you insecure and keeping you, worried and having trust issues. And so then buy my course on love and I'll teach you how to like, it's like, fuck, we're in such a weird ass time right now, bro. And I think, bro, people need to go outside, like get off the dating apps, get off IG, get off TikTok, just go outside, do shit that you like. Find people that you really rock with and that you really just like who they are as human beings and what they do and how they dress and how they talk and their sense of humor. Like, though you can find those people, they are out there. You're not gonna find them on Tinder, like, you know what I mean? And I think also that whole dynamic. I've never used a dating app, but I do think that mostly because I feel like it just dehumanizes the whole process of meeting people. It's just fucked up. You're supposed to go somewhere with your boys and then find somebody that you think is raw. And then you're like, bro, I love that shirt. I love that. Oh, okay. Oh, and then this person funny. Oh, da, da, da. And now all of a sudden, now you connect. That's how it's supposed to be. Like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to bump into somebody by accident, not like on a dating app where you just,
I'm not supposed to know what the fuck is happening.
I think it's just weird. It's very Black Mirror. I feel like if we, again, like I'm really into shows and movies. If we never saw like social media, I feel like we would put social media in like a Black Mirror, and we would watch that and be like, "That's so weird. Why the fuck?" But because it's normal, it's normal.
So then understanding that love needs to be an in-person thing. It needs to be this genuine connection. How would you define love?
Compatibility, yin and yang, puzzle pieces. You know, I think if you complement each other, like not like I like your shirt, but more like I like doing the things that you don't like doing, and you like doing the things that I don't like doing. So, you know, I think that's what it is. With obviously similarities and thing commonalities. It's not like a perfect and that's also part of it too. It's not always perfect, but it's whether or not you want to work at it.
And I think that's also society's problem. You know, just like you said, social media, they'll sell you a dream. They'll sell you something that's not real. They say that love is supposed to be this. Love is supposed to be perfect. Love is supposed to be this person will do go to the end of the world for you. And yes, your person will go to the end of the earth for you. But they're not going to be doing that by fucking day 3. You're forced to put on this persona just like you are with the industry, right? In the industry often we think that we have to create this persona so that we're likable. So that when we show up, we get to be accepted by everybody in that room.
You know what's crazy? I was just thinking about this. It's entertainment, right? So you think that that means be a people pleaser because I'm an entertainer. But what it really is actually is just being yourself under any circumstances. And under no circumstance should you try to appeal to somebody because you think you're going to get something in return. That's entertainment. You know what I mean? You have to be, there's a book that I'm reading right now. It's called The Willingness to Be Disliked or something like that. And it's really just about that. Like you have to be willing to be hated in order to be loved. Just be yourself. Don't be scared. If you hate this flavor pie, don't lie about it. Because sooner or later you're gonna be like, I actually fucking hate it when you make that shit. And then it's like, damn, we're on year 5 and you hate my cooking, you know? So yeah, just be real.
So in the TikTok snippet, you say, last night you pulled up to a party, I didn't see you. You pulled up as someone else. Masks, we all wear a mask. Who was it you felt like you were trying to present yourself to be at that time?
I think at that time specifically, I was still kind of trying to find the tempo of LA. And now I know, just being yourself literally is the key. Because you will dispel anything that sucks and you will attract everything that's great. But at that time, I still was trying to find what line do I need to ride in order to be, accepted in certain rooms and like get certain opportunities. And that was kind of the view that I was coming at it from. And I thought of this like Halloween kind of analogy where we're all wearing masks and we all pull up to the party as someone else. I thought that's a crazy bar. And so then, so to answer your question specifically, it's just like the environments that you don't feel like you're invited to. When you find yourself in these parties in Hollywood or, places that you feel like you haven't earned the right to be in, so you're feeling like imposter syndrome, or like parties that you feel like you shouldn't even be at because it's like this isn't even my circle. Um when you're, and I'm talking about parties, but also like meetings, sessions, any environment where you're in a group of people and you just feel odd and out of place, that's who you wear the mask for. It's like, oh, I'm actually having a great time. When in reality, it's like, I want to go home. I want to go the fuck home.
And that's why I had brought up the idea of the personas. The Mind talks about his new album, Dancing While Crying in the Middle of Nowhere. That whole time he was dancing and he was putting on this mask so that he could seem cool to everybody around him. In reality, every time he went home, he ended up crying. So you show up to the function and you're like, yeah, I could rock with y'all. I'm just like you. But everybody has this side of them that they don't allow themselves to show, right? That's that vulnerability piece.
There's a lot of Urises with half a tank of gas. It's like these people with nice things and they look like they're living life at the fullest, but they're not really, they can't really maintain it, you know, and that's really gonna, it takes a toll on you.
Why did you feel the need to conform for so long?
I think that some of what was motivating me was like an uninformed view of, you know, a lifestyle. I had to look raw. I had to, you know, have nice things. I had to always be funny. I had to, you know, drop the hottest shit, have the biggest numbers, you know, and like why? You know? Why? To be honest, now, bro, I want to be, and I know I'm good at what I do. I'm proud of the art that I make. I know that there's things that I have out right now that I would love to talk for hours about. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. Any session that I go to, I want to be the wackest person there. I want to be the wackest person there. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the least talented. I want to know the least, because that means everybody else is so raw that now I have to get better. That's what I want to do. Because to be honest, it was experiences like that that made me want to start taking it serious in the first place. And I didn't really realize that. Like, there was times I actually went back to watch our old interview yesterday. And I was just like, damn, you know, it's been so long and da da da, and I've changed so much. But there was something in there I was talking about one of my songwriter homies. And I literally remember, bro, when I was visiting LA for the first time, and I went to he's going crazy right now still.
What's his name?
Viz.
Okay.
Shout out Viz. I literally same video said the same shit. But literally, like, that moment when I met him for the first time, and we were playing records, we were going back and forth, and we were just like, yo, you so raw, like, just first link, you know how it is. Like, then I was just hearing music that it was so good. It was just good as fuck. I was like, damn, like, I gotta get better. And that was like one of the first moments when I really was faced with my own fucking like mortality. I was like, damn, I'm just a human. I gotta get better. You know what I'm saying? And so I did. I got better. And now I'm striving for those experiences. I want to keep having those experiences. I want every single room that I go to just be crazy and I feel like shit afterwards, because I know when I get home, I'm going to be practicing and I'm going to get better. And the next time I'm in that room, we're going to be peers and I'm going to have to go look for another room. You know what I'm saying? Not leave those people behind, but I just mean I'm going to have to keep growing, keep moving, and keep learning.
It's like what they say, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Absolutely. That's so real.
Like I said, I can see the difference between before and after LA. Who is it Marcelo is at his core?
I just want to do cool shit, man. I wanna make things that I feel like are cool, and I want to do any idea I have, creative or just something that I want to do, like, you know, a place I want to go to or visit, or I just want to do it with the least amount of headache as possible. And I want to do it with people that I love and care about, and I want to be a resource for people. That's who I want to be. That's at my core. I love helping. I love being reliable and relied on when I can. And when I can't, I just don't even feel like myself, bro. Like, if somebody asks me for something, I'm like, bro, I literally can't help you. I feel like a bitch. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get my shit together. Cause it's literally like, damn, that's who I am. Like I like helping. I like making sure like, yo, you need a and then are you good? Fire. Like that fulfills me, you know? Um, so yeah, I wanna be of service. I wanna be and continue to just be creative and create and make things, build things. That's who I am in my core. A builder and a carer.
I'm glad you've reached that point, bro.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you being able to be so vulnerable, right? Not only in this conversation, but through the music. Through the music, you've been able to share things that most people are afraid to say. And I think as we get older, being vulnerable is a little bit harder because we're supposed to have it all figured out. When I started the when I started this, I was 21. When we had that first conversation, we were 22. I just turned 25. And I realized as I continued to move forward, there was less and less I was willing to share. And I think it was because I became afraid of how I would be perceived. When I first started, I didn't give a fuck. I was just throwing everything out there. I was throwing, man, if I went out and blacked out the night before, I was coming on here to say that shit. I'm not talking about that shit ever in my life, not on camera.
Yeah.
So that vulnerability is just that much harder to talk about. For you on Hell Week, you really put that shit out there. You say Monday you wake up and all your friends were gone. The next day you found out your money's down the hall. By Wednesday,
2 hands up, because that's just how it goes.
the next day you woke up at 2 a.m. because of anxiety. Break this one down. What was going on?
When shit needs to get done, I've always been like frantic. I'm a firm believer that you gotta be frantic to get shit done. Cause it's not gonna get shit done if you don't have that urgency to you. But when I was going through the shit with the team member, and I just realized and I was really doing the math and I was like figuring out, why like I'm like, why do I feel like I'm like not doing shit right now? Like why do I feel because I was busy, I was doing things, I had shows, I was going back and forth to Chicago. I was having great sessions, I was getting placements as a songwriter, like I was doing things, but it felt like I was like, why do I feel like I'm not doing shit? Why do I feel like nothing's happening? So then I started like kind of really digging in and looking at, analytics and I was looking at numbers and I was looking at my money and I was looking at where it was going and then what I got from that thing. Like I didn't really dig deep into those things before. And I was like, bro, like I'm dropping bread on so much shit that's not coming back to me. And I'm investing in things that aren't working and I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I haven't really eaten out at like a restaurant in a while. I didn't really realize that. I haven't gone out. I haven't seen my homies in a while. And I'm starting to like realize this. And bro, I don't know why, but I've never had a panic attack before, but I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I was like, I can't like stop hyperventilating. Like I can't, like my heart feels like it's gonna bust out of my fucking chest. And I had to leave uh not the crib, but the room, and I just went in the living room. And I'm like, I feel like it was supposed to be different. Like I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm literally, I can't. I never had nothing like that. And then of course in the song I talk about my mom, and she got diagnosed with cancer, and she's cancer free now, thank God. She's a gladiator. I don't know how she does it, but at that time, things were. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and you don't really know how things affect you until you start getting real feedback from your body. You know what I mean? Like if you aren't eating right, you might not notice for a while, and then you wake up and you're like, damn, I'm kind of underweight or I'm overweight or I haven't really hit the gym. Why can't I? Why does this feel so heavy? Some shit like that. So this was my body telling me to like start figuring this stuff out. Start making better choices because it's not gonna get figured out by itself. This person that you feel like is not that you're paying and you feel like they're not really helping you, they're not just gonna leave out of the goodness of their heart. You have to have this conversation with them. You got to say how you feel. This friend that you feel like is being weird towards you, you got to call them up. You got to have this conversation because they're not gonna come to Jesus without a little bit of a push. You know what I mean? And that's your calling to have these conversations and bring things to the table, right? That's what I feel like ideas come from. You know what I mean? They come from God, they come from the universe. Like there's a reason why you have these thoughts. Get it out of your system. Get it out. Um and yeah, bro. So that's where Hellweek came from. It was just like that realization, that kind of week. And in reality, it was like a couple weeks, a couple months of really figuring out where all the holes in the boat were. But yeah, that was me kind of like auditing my life. Like just figuring out what's wrong, how can I fix it? What's a problem that I can fix in 6 months? What's a problem that I can fix in 4 months? What's a problem that I can fix next week? And let's just start, you know? Yeah, that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, bro, I never had a panic attack before. That shit was crazy. Like it feels so jarring to feel like you don't have control over your body. Like,
That shit felt like a heart attack for real.
bro, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I always breathe. Like, so I mean, I'm laughing about it now, but it was really scary. And in the middle of the night, you're disoriented. I didn't know what was going on, but I figured that if I didn't start handling these things, that it was gonna kill me, bro. Like, just having that, just turning into a boulder, just having all this resentment, and you just turn into this fucking like, you know, just something you don't even recognize.
How do you manage the anxiety now after that experience?
Not good. I still struggle with it. I think the one thing that I do better at is just not holding shit in. Don't hold anything in. There's no point. Because that's just gonna add to it. So if something is a problem, let that problem be affecting you, and that's the only thing affecting you. But don't let it affect you. And now you're holding in how it feels, and that's affecting you. And now you're like lashing out in ways that you regret. And now that's affecting you. You're making the problem worse. If this is a problem over here, let's handle that. But don't start adding to it with your like internal shit. It's just so that I can say I do a way better job of just get it out. If you got a problem with somebody, tell them. Like if you're like worried about something, say it. If you got an issue with how somebody is moving, bring it up. But the longer you hold it in, not only will that like take a toll on you physically and emotionally and psychologically, but it's also not going to fix the problem. And the longer you don't address this problem, the longer it is a problem.
And you take it out on people that didn't deserve it.
Exactly, bro. That's a big. I feel like I do a better job of it now, but just like being super defensive for no reason, and like not even defensive, but like the what's the word, like what you just said, um like you have an issue over here, but since you're internalizing it, now you're like taking it out, you're deflected elsewhere, yeah, and now you're like just blowing up on random things for no reason. You know what I mean? I hate that, bro. I feel like an old man crashing out just on some shit that don't matter. So that like again, bro, we're all here for the first time, and we all got to learn these things. And some people learn them way earlier than others.
I'm gonna start saying that shit, bro.
What?
I'm here for the first.
I'm here
time.
for the first time, man. Don't even.
Being out in LA while your mom was dealing with that. What kind of mental state did that place you in?
I just feel like a horrible person, dude. Like I felt like I just felt so selfish and like and like how like I wish I could do more. Again, like I just want to be the person that somebody's like, yo, I got this problem. And I'm like, yo, this is how you can fix it. I love being that. And, cancer is such a scary thing to have in your family. To, or if a friend, anyone close to you, like if they're dealing with something like that or you're dealing with something like that, there's so many things that are like unpredictable. You have no idea how they're going to react to a certain treatment. You don't know if the doctors are doing the best that they can. You don't know if there's some other shit going on where they're just trying to bleed you for as much money as possible. You have no, so all these thoughts are going through your head, and I'm sitting in fucking Beverly Hills. Like that was where my first apartment was. And I'm like, I don't care about none of this shit. I don't care about Beverly Hills. I don't care about nice shit. I don't care about nothing. I want my mom to be good. And so everything just starts feeling very ridiculous and like nonsensical. You go outside and you see all these raw ass cars and shit, and like, yo, pull up to this part. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit, bro. Like, I'm losing money. My mom is dying. Like, I feel like the world is ending, bro. Like, this is crazy. So, but then luckily, she was able to overcome that, being supported by my dad. And I was able to kind of find comfort in that. And then, I got the courage to have these conversations with people that I had a problem with. Um, and that was the beginning of, I feel like, me learning how to just handle shit. Still, some problems are harder than others. But acknowledging them is the first step, I feel like. So
So that was the moment that really changed everything.
sure, you could say that. You could say that. I think, like, again, when you step out into the darkness and you take that risk of moving or pursuing something that you don't really know is gonna happen, you try to run the risk reward in your head. You always get hit with something that's unpredictable, and it's just about how you roll with the punches.
I got two last things for you.
Mhm.
Back in our first interview, you mentioned that you've lived so many different experiences, but you just didn't have the ability to write them and tell the story properly. What's an experience you still feel like you haven't been able to touch on yet?
Damn, that's a good question. I don't know. Cause now I'm like, I'm trying to do a better job of not, again, holding on to shit. So I feel like I try to stay an open book as much as possible. In terms of the music, I'm not spilling my business all the time to people, but when I'm making a song, I try to like just let it be what it needs to be.
What's something you've talked about that we haven't heard yet?
Really, I think the friendship, bro.
That really fucked you up.
Yeah, bro. Because I just think I spent so much time growing up with certain people thinking that, things were gonna be different. And like, I mean, I would literally say this exact line every single time, but I'd be like, bro, like, once we do this, woo, we're gonna be laughing on a yacht. Like literally, I say laughing on a yacht all the time. Cause it's just I don't even know if I ever buy a yacht, but I just mean that's just such a like that's just what it is. Like we one day we're just gonna be laughing about this shit, you know? And then like and then now all of a sudden you don't talk to that person no more. I'm like, damn, we were supposed to be fucking laughing on the fucking yacht. Why are you over here tweaking, bro? Fuck. Dude, oh my God. I could talk about this all day. Literally, like, and maybe this is my ego now. I'd say we all have egos in some things. Maybe it's my ego thinking that I could predict the future. I really felt like I could, bro. I really felt like, bro, if we just all do this, and it's not everybody, but I'm like, bro, if we just lock in, we're gonna be laughing on this fucking yacht. We're gonna have a mansion or whatever you want. We can do whatever we want. Whatever we want. If we want to have matching cars, if we want to travel the world, if we want to create the best music, if we want to write movies, if we want to do whatever, we can do whatever. We just gotta just stay focused and lock in, but don't lose yourself. Or get unmotivated, you know. And I just feel like you have like I said, bro. I'm not even gonna say you. I'm just take responsibility. Like I had an idea of what things were gonna be like when things start connecting, and like literally I was wrong about every single thing. And so getting out of the habit of trying to predict what's gonna happen has saved me so much heartache and headache. Just take things exactly for what they are. It's the duck thing, bro.
If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck.
It's a duck, bro.
All right, my last question for you.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I asked you how the Summer Smash Showcase changed your perception of success. How has living in LA changed your perception of success?
The industry, the people that, sign the checks and um are supposed to kind of have the resources and the infrastructure to help you. It's really not personal, but if you don't have shit going on, what's there to talk about? And I think that when I was younger, I thought that all these conversations that I was having and all these opportunities that I was getting was because of who I was. But it was really because of what I could do for them. And I'm not even mad, bro. I'm not even mad. But if you go into something not knowing what it is yet, that's a surefire way to get fucked in the end. So just know exactly what it is. And it's not personal. It doesn't mean these people are evil. It doesn't mean that they're terrible human beings. None of that. But this is a business, right? And it's really interesting to be in an industry where you and I can be looking at the same thing and see two completely different things. I go to a label and play a song that's about my life. This is my life. This is literally my life. This is how I pay my bills, but I'm literally speaking on my own life in this song. And they see whether or not it's gonna sell and whether or not it's gonna chart and whether or not it's gonna. How are we on so different pages? And I think the key is, if you want to find success, and I'm just talking about in music, but I think in anything, like when you're starting to work with people and partner with people, making sure that y'all are on the same page. Like I know it's important that a song does well so we can all make money. I know. Um, which is why I don't hold anybody to a standard that's unfair. Like I'm not pretending like executives are artists. I'm not pretending. But I think when I was younger, I thought everybody was in this because they love fucking music and they love, they love art and everyone's so artsy. That's not what it is. So yeah, just know what it is. I think yeah, that's how it's changed my perspective. Like take things for what they are and don't get upset when the thing is just what it is.
If it walks like a duck.
If it walks like a duck, it's a duck. It is a duck, man.
Man, I appreciate you sliding through, bro.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, bro.
You got anything you want to plug?
New project coming out May 13th. I think it's the 13th. Let's just say May.
What's the title?
It's called Departures.
I feel like we already covered why, so I'm not even gonna ask.
Exactly. Yeah. New chapters, going to new places, and growing up.
Make sure you guys go ahead, check out SoloCelo. You want to spell that for them?
SoloCelo on all plats. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.